today's collectible spot. Got ourselves a very large box. Today we're having a look at the Sideshow Collectibles Star Wars STAP and Battle Droid 6-scale figure. There's the bottom of the box. Move the camera all the way up. There's the top of the box. I can already tell you this is going to be a gorgeous display piece. Spot's such a big fan of the Star Wars, and really for me the big thing that was my interest in the original Episode 1, and I know a lot of people don't really like Episode 1, but for me like the big thing that I was interested in was the tech. The Jedi thing, Anakin, okay, maybe not, but I like the battle droids. I liked, the droid destroyers, the rolling droids. I mean, just the design of them looked really cool. So when I found out that Sideshow Collectibles was producing a Star Wars STAP and Battle Droid 6-scale figure, I really wanted to pick it up. It has arrived, and now, of course, we're going to be having a look at it. But the box is incredibly large, really to encompass not only the STAP, but also of the droid that's going to be included in this as well. On the side of the box, just a side picture of the droid with STAP. And then on the back, some really neat artwork actually. On the back, some images from Episode 1. I still like this scene. And again, to whatever debate whether Star Wars Episode 1 was good or not, or a real success, but I still liked the look of them. And especially when they're fighting the Gungans and the droid carriers are opening up and deploying all the battle droids. I always thought that was a really good looking scene. The read-up all the way down below, the read-up says STAPs, or Single Trooper Aerial Platforms, are lightweight reconnaissance and patrol vehicles used by the Trade Federation Army incorporating technology. The STAP is a slim, agile craft piloted by a single B-1 battle droid sporting a pair of blaster cannons. An open design, STAPs rely on the speed and agility to dodge enemy fire and are often deployed as support vehicles in conjunction with larger craft. Sideshow Collectibles is proud to announce the STAP and Battle Droid 6-scale figure set. The detailed STAP vehicle comes mounted on a specially engineered base that allows for a wide range of motion and positioning and is piloted by an included Battle Droid 6-scale figure. Measuring approximately 14 inches tall, the STAP and Battle Droid 6-scale figure set makes an outstanding addition to any Star Wars collection. That I can pretty much sum up. I mean, that's exactly my reasoning for wanting to get this set. Having said that, Spot's going to turn the box around here. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get this fully opened up, and certainly when we come back, we are going to get a better look at this very impressive Sideshow Collectibles STAP and Battle Droid. There's definitely more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Of course, when you get the STAP and the Battle Droid, the two components that you're going to get inside the box are your Battle Droid and your main STAP unit. Before we have a look at the STAP, let's focus our efforts on the Battle Droid. Again, it's packaged, first of all, in the crouching position, which is probably something that we were familiar with in Episode 1. The way that they're deployed, they are kind of just dropped off, and then they just kind of stand themselves up and position themselves ready for battle. And essentially, that's how Sideshow Collectibles has packaged these as well. I kind of like that, and I know for obviously spacing and all that, they wanted to make sure that they could package both of them in a relatively accommodating box. But if the deliberate intent was to have them in a crouching position, mission accomplished. That I really like that touch. The detailing on the Battle Droid is really nice. It's this kind of brown beige color that they were in the movie, and they've brushed in all this additional wash to the side of the armor, or the side of the bodies, along the leg area here, and they've also put like wear marks. So more importantly, like around the head area, there's just these areas where there's scratches and things to it that it looks like the droid has been in battle, and I think again that's a really nice touch. It's not a relatively heavy piece. It's not considerably heavy. In fact, the majority of the body, as far as I know, is only like a plastic frame. So it's light, which is also nice. But certainly, along with it being light, always a little bit of caution when handling it, especially the Battle Droid, being that he has a lot of smaller joints. But to deploy him, what we're going to do is you can actually just bring these arms out ever so slightly, and take the legs, and you're just going to extend them out, just like so. I find when you start turning them at the waist area, you're not putting as much strain on the legs themselves. From there, you can take the legs and just, again, extend them out, bend the legs down, and like so. Just like that. The same idea, really, with the arms. The arms themselves really don't have to be moved all that much. They're already fixed in position, but you could probably just adjust the hands a little bit. And then really the last bit of extension that you need is just in the head. The head, this whole entire section pulls out, just like that. And there you have the Battle Droid. Very cool indeed. Now you want to just adjust the head up, and you've got yourself a really nice piece. Bringing the camera up a little bit, so we get all the details there. There is pegs on the back. You'll see actually 2 pegs on one side, 1 peg on the other. That is to accommodate his knapsack that he does also come included with. And you're just going to take those 2 pegs, line them up, and snap them into place, just like that. His knapsack is really nicely detailed, and again just goes along with the overall paint that they've done with the rest of the droid, where you've got this wash just on the sides, and some detailing on the top there as well. The antennas for the knapsack, by the way, can be retracted. You're just going to pull these out, and a little bit of caution, and really a little bit of caution to be said for the majority of the piece. This is something that you're going to want to put as a display piece, certainly not something you're going to be playing excessively with. But I mean, like these antennas, do be a little cautious with these. But yeah, there you go. You've got the full Battle Droid with his backpack fully displayed, and he looks really neat. Now, in this positioning, or in this mode, he has really surprisingly a lot of articulation. His head doesn't really rotate. Rotates this way, but it does pivot left and right. It does move up and down, obviously, the way that you saw it extend out. The shoulders, let me just bring your attention to the shoulders area here. There's a hinge on the shoulder. I don't want to say shoulder patches, but these little shoulder panels do raise up. They raise up so as well you can move those arms up, and that is not going to be restricted at all. And that's certainly an appreciated added bit of detailing. So having said that, the arms do move out. They rotate right there. Let's just bring the camera in. They rotate right there as well, where you can rotate the, I would suppose, I guess, the upper bicep area. He does have a bend at the elbow. He does have a rotation at the forearm right there. So if you can see, rotates here, bends here, and then rotates at that forearm. And then again, it at the arm itself, or the hand itself, it does bend via a pin that's in the joint itself. It does rotate. But on top of that, the hands rotate right here, and also there's a ball joint in the thumb. And again, some real caution when handling, and making sure that you know exactly where those joints are, because as beautiful as a piece this is, you definitely don't want anything happening to it. When you get to the waist section, this section does kind of pivot up and down. It doesn't really move too much. But then the majority of the rest of the articulation is more so in the legs area. The legs do go forward, back. They go out. Actually, there is a ball joint. Let's bring the camera in here. There is a ball joint on the inside here that allow the legs to move in and out. There is no swivel or anything in the thigh, but there's a hinge, bend at the knee, and also a bend at the foot. The foot also can pivot too, which will certainly help later on when you have the Battle Droid on his STAP. I'm just really happy with this piece. I think my only thing I wish that they could have done for the Battle Droid is perhaps an inclusion of a base. Now I know, of course, we've got the STAP, but let's say just for the sake of having him displayed on his own, I kind of wish that he had a base that he could just stand on his own without the need for the STAP. I like the inclusion of the STAP, but say if I wanted to have him just displayed next to it, I kind of wish that that was the case as well. As one of the other accessories that the Battle Droid does come with, he does come with his trusty weapon, like so, which as far as I know does not clip onto his knapsack, which I think in the movie it does, or they kind of have it where he's reaching around the back and they pull out their weapons. It doesn't seem to be a section, as far as I can see, where that weapon pegs in anywhere. However, you can take the hand, and again, just a little bit of caution here. You take the hand, and let's bring the camera in here, and you can take it, just bring out the thumb on that ball joint, sit the gun inside, and then you kind of just want to sandwich it like so. And really, the thumb does a lot of help with holding. Let's bring the camera over. It does actually a pretty good job of holding that gun in place. So it doesn't necessarily hold a trigger button. Well, I guess it does. It holds it in the thumb section right there, but you can still get a really nice effect with having the Battle Droid holding that weapon. Now, when it comes to the actual STAP, we'll put the Battle Droid to the side for a second here. The STAP, for starters, comes with this really nice display base. Now, this base is weighted, so essentially you're going to keep this base really prevents the STAP from moving anywhere. And once you start incorporating the 12-inch Battle Droid on top of the STAP, you really want something that's going to keep it from moving anywhere. And this base is really good for that. It's definitely got a weighted feel to it. On the underside, it says Sideshow Collectibles Star Wars STAP and Battle Droid 6th scale figure. Sideshow Collectibles is registered trademark of Sideshow Inc. On the top, the STAP will actually peg right into there. Now, on top of it being something that you can peg in, this whole section right here, which I'll show you in a second, probably better with the STAP, but this section right here is a ball-jointed socket. So you'll actually get a little bit of movement when you take the STAP, which we've actually got right here, and taking the square peg, matching up to the square peg hole, you can get the STAP into place. And like Spotted mentioned, you can take that STAP and bend it along the use of this ball joint that's inside this base. It's a nice touch because you're not only just getting the functionality of having a base that's keeping the STAP in place, but you're also getting some options to bend and rotate it depending on really how you want to have it. You could even have something like where the STAP is, angling around a building or something like that. I mean, that would be a nice touch to be having on the shelf where, it looks as if it's kind of flying around the side of something. Taking the STAP out here, I'm just going to once again unpeg it and putting this base to the side. The STAP itself is just, again, lives up as well as the Battle Droid for detailing and paint. Really nice touches on all accounts. The sculpt is nice, and again, much like the Battle Droid, it's not a heavy piece. I don't see any die cast or anything on it. It's a plastic piece, but I mean the detailing on it is beautiful. Well, again, with this, by comparison to the Battle Droid, this is a little more darker of a brown color, and it's still got these scratches. It's got like the wear marks on it, where it looks like it has had field time out in the battle zone. There's really not a lot of articulation to be said with the piece. It pivots slightly up in the neck area, but certainly not a lot that I would be, forcing or doing any considerable movement out of it. The struts, or the areas where the Battle Droid will stand on, originally I thought this was a pivoted point, but it looks like it is just a staction piece, which is, again, really a fine notch for me. It doesn't bother me at all that I can't move these at all, because really, once the Battle Droid is sitting on top of the STAP, I'm happy with how it's going to look. So, up at the top you'll see some handles. This will be, of course, where the Battle Droid will hold on to when it's flying the STAP through the sky. And again, some really nice detailing where we've got this brushed gunmetal on the side. And of course, the front cannons here also. Just a really nice piece on this. I mean, I like really a lot of Star Wars pieces, but there's not really a lot of Star Wars pieces that I collect. It has to be really, really specific. And I like the Battle Droid because it's really about, like a Spot had said, it's really about the only element of Episode 1 I really like is the tech. I like the droids and the designs of some of the pieces. So once again, we'll just take the peg and we'll peg it into the display base like so. And you've got really, again, a nice showpiece, to put on the shelf. Taking the Battle Droid, however, which we were already looking at, and what you can do is you're just going to angle the legs. Just angle the legs like so. And with just a little bit of adjusting, you can get something that looks like this. And my one caution with the piece was I was thinking I wasn't sure how the piece would properly hold the Battle Droid. And luckily, it actually does a really good job of it. The majority of its being mounted to the STAP really relies on the feet of the droid itself. These feet actually snap in, almost as if you were going to put on slippers. The foot of the droid goes in first, snaps into here, and that really takes a lot of the weight from the figure and mounts it to this piece here. Because I thought initially, perhaps maybe they need to put a magnet or something on there that it would just stick itself to and kind of keep itself fixed to the STAP itself. You really don't need a lot of the droid holding the STAP at the handle section to keep it, against the STAP. A lot of it is really relying on these feet. But the end result, though, is very impressive. It's something, while certainly being at 14 inches tall, it's certainly a lot taller than some of the other Sideshow pieces that we've gotten. The scale of the Battle Droid is, on par with what we've gotten, but having it with the STAP really takes it to that next level. And that's something that I appreciate, and one of the reasons why I wanted to get this piece. I would be curious to know if Sideshow would ever release the Battle Droid on its own. Perhaps, with something, perhaps two of them, or perhaps just on their own. Because, the Battle Droid on its own is an impressive piece. But when you start incorporating the idea of the STAP as well, I think you've got to win, with this collectible. The one thing I also really like about the Battle Droid and the STAP is price-wise, it's not a super expensive piece either. By comparison to maybe some of the pieces with Hot Toys and whatnot, comparatively, these are a much more affordable route to go. And as a collectible of Star Wars pieces, you probably would want to get something like this in your collection. It's just a gorgeous piece. And really, as a testament of something that a Sideshow has been able really to produce. This is the first piece that Spot's picked up from at least the Star Wars property end of things. Spot would also really like to get his hands on the Darth Vader, because for me, that's my childhood right there. But I'm very happy with how the STAP turned out. And I guess my only gripe is I wish the piece was a little heavier. But now having it on the STAP, I can see why. Like a lot of Battle Droid, if it was heavier, you'd be putting more weight on the STAP. So for that reason, I can see why having it as a plastic piece, for the grand picture of it all, is a better, smarter way to go. I don't feel as if I'm going to have any issues with the droid coming off the STAP, or any structure or issues with the plastic or anything like that. But I am very happy. If you probably can't already tell, Spot's very happy with how this piece turned out. If you are certainly interested in picking up this piece, Spot actually ordered this right from Sideshow Collectibles. That is probably your best bet as well, because also with Sideshow Collectibles, as you probably already know, you can pay in installments. So if you are looking to get yourself this piece, you don't have to worry about shelling out everything all at one go. You can pay it with installments, and that's something I really like as well. But yeah, I'm very happy indeed that I was able to get this part of my collection. It's definitely going to be put out with quite a bit of love indeed. Today's collectible spot, we're having a look at the Sideshow Collectibles Battle Droid with STAP 1/6 scale figure. As always, thank you guys for watching, as you always do. Spot certainly really appreciates it. And stay tuned, Spot's going to have more collectible spots heading your way. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.